1867 collective, we're here to dominate. We're the kings of real estate, we control the fate. We'll find a dream home, no matter the cost.
Hey everybody, just wanted to do a quick intro to some of our videos we've got coming up. You'll see more and more of these from me and from others, some infotainment type videos. So hopefully you enjoy them. Here you go, take a look. Today, first thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna introduce somebody that people know, but hopefully you'll get to know them just a little bit more as we do this video and we do this podcast. So without further ado, Mr. Jon Acevedo, come on in, come on down. Oh, thank you. Oh, that was good. Oh, sorry. I forget the little things. I tell people things to do things, and then I forget them.
Yeah.
Happens a lot, so I don't. Yeah, so sorry about that.
What a crowd you have over here.
I know, we have a lot of people. We thank you for the people that are here watching. It reminds me of he's a realtor. Reminds me of a realtor that's done several videos here recently that a lot of people have been watching, and he takes questions from the audience that is non-existent. I think it's AI that he's actually even done a couple of, like people will speak or whatever as like, hey, I've got a question, as if people actually came to hear him speak.
And the question's like an AI generated voice.
Well, no. So some of the voices, they have variations to them, but it's like the variations are so marked, like they're not subtle whatsoever, that I feel like, okay, they're not real. It's not, but I've been told also that they could be a real person too. I don't know. So, anywho, Jon. Obviously, people know Jon. So Jon, you have been at the 1867 Collective. Let's go back a little bit even more. You've been at 1867 Collective how long-ish?
Since 2022.
2022.
Right.
Okay. So then 2022.
Two full years, right?
Yes, because we're in 2024. I have to remind myself. Yep,
Yeah.
or 2024. So flash forward 2024, May 2024. You started as director of real estate operations. When? February of 2024. So hence we're in May. So you've been doing it February, March, April, May, almost 4 months.
Yeah.
Sort of a thing. So very cool. So people know Jon because you've seen him at sales team meetings and you've seen him as you walk in sometimes even. But we're going to get to know Jon just a little bit more and even talk about a few things that we're going to do at the office. And so people kind of know. And you know, some of these things will be repeat even for folks that go to co-op and that go to sales team meeting and stuff like that. But for those of you who aren't able or who weren't listening maybe, during those meetings, then this will be beneficial for you, hopefully as well. So, Jon, you're kind of a Lincolnite, not really, sort of.
I feel like I am. I mean, it's even hard to say that I might be a Nebraskanite, a Nebraskan.
Yeah.
That's probably the appropriate way to say it. I moved out to Nebraska in like 98 and then came to Lincoln in 2009 for a couple years.
Okay.
Moved back home, came back like permanently since like 2012.
So back home, where's back home? What do you call back home?
Back home is a small town called Dakota City.
Dakota City.
Yeah. It's
okay. Is it
right,
Nebraska?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just south of South Sioux City.
Okay. So, because did you go to like a high school and most things were in South Sioux City?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Very good. My daughter's calling me on my phone.
Hi, Maddie.
Maya. Yeah, I know it's got her face on it. So South Sioux City, that's always such a weird area to me because there's South Sioux City. Is it just Nebraska and Iowa? I feel like there was even a Sioux City.
North Sioux City is South Dakota.
Oh, there we go. That's what it is.
Sioux City is Iowa.
Yeah.
What's ridiculous about that whole geographical location of the cities is that Sioux City is not in between the two. Like it's pretty lateral to North Dakota, like North Sioux City.
Right.
But I think just the way it stretches, so they just decided to go that route and say,
shout out to the Sioux Native Americans.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. South Sioux City, Sioux Falls.
Yep.
Lots of Sioux things.
Definitely lots of Sioux.
In that area.
Really cool.
So
they have a lot of museums there too.
Specifically of Native Americans?
Yes,
Okay.
like the Sioux tribe, and a huge Lewis and Clark presence of like
Oh,
different
okay.
things that they did while they were there.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Sacagawea, yeah.
So when you moved back, you were most recently you lived in Minnesota.
I was on a 2-year contract there as a market director for optical in a large retail chain for 2 years. It was crazy. Yeah, so a lot of hiring doctors, hiring managers, overseeing budgets and staffing and operations and compliance. It was a lot of traveling.
Oh, was it really?
I had Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Idaho, Montana,
Oh, you went to Montana,
Minnesota,
even.
and then
Cool.
part of Iowa.
Okay, that's a pretty
It
big
was
territory.
intense. Yeah, they called me
Planes, cars. What did you travel in?
mostly car.
Oh,
But
really?
there was a lot of flying to Denver to go to like the Big Sky is what we would call it,
Yeah.
and then obviously I would just drive like Minnesota and into sometimes Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls was kind of an interesting place to go, like in the car.
Right.
It's a hefty drive, but
Yeah, it's so nuts to me because so the driving thing, I don't know if it's a genetic thing or if it's just I have some sort of disease. I don't know. But I have never been able to stay awake when driving specifically for long periods of time. I've got friends and family that, the husband or the man or whatever in the family is the driver. And he drives overnight through the night, and drives 8 hours at a time. I mean, I think so. If I've told several people this, if I have a nap, I don't need to go to the bathroom and I'm not hungry, then I can drive a solid like 6 hours.
okay.
I can do it. But otherwise, typically I get bored and tired really fast. So another side note tangent here. I love Nebraska and I love the state and I love all the things that that offers here. But in terms of things to see, especially in the I-80 corridor, worst in the country by far.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Nothing to see, nothing to look at. It's terrible. I mean, anytime there's like a slight bend in the road, you're just kind of like, oh, okay.
This is exciting. We're turning into Hershey.
Right? Yeah, exactly right. I know. It's just, oh my gosh. It's so, again, as people are like, oh, well, my state does this and I'm from this place. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But then if we start talking about like scenic drives and stuff, then I'm pretty quiet about it because it is what it is. Our state is just not fun to drive through. Again, I-80 specifically. You start getting into like northern and southern Nebraska, honestly, it changes a lot.
Oh yeah,
It's kind of
Huge
crazy.
change. So I'll tell you 2 things about the Minnesota thing, and then I'll
Okay,
tell you
yeah.
about the Nebraska thing too. So
Yeah.
one of 2, they used to call me Jon Snow because the whole territory was just northern
Game of
area.
Thrones reference,
And
like it.
So it was cheesy but funny. So
Yeah.
that was the thing. The second thing was my longest drive was from Bismarck to my house, and
Bismarck
I did it
to
in
your
one
house.
day.
What do
And
you mean your house?
house in Minnesota. So it was like
Where you live, okay.
What was it called? It was Hastings, Minnesota. So it was
Oh,
like
yeah?
as far east as you could go.
Mhm.
Like if you traveled like 5 more minutes to the east side of that town,
Uh-huh.
you would cross a bridge and you were in Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
So
I
we
gotcha.
were very close to that. We were at Vermilion River, I think is what it was called.
Oh, okay. Sure,
So
sure.
it was very close.
Yeah. Gotcha.
That I don't remember the amount of time I took, but I do remember I stopped at like 2 Chick-fil-A's and had like a ton of chicken nuggets like on the way home.
Yeah.
It was a long drive. And then thirdly, with the Nebraska thing, I had never been to Chadron,
Oh, yeah.
and this was when
beautiful.
some friends got married in Spearfish, South Dakota.
hmm
And I'm like, this is going to be a cool trip.
Oh,
So
for sure. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
went up through Chadron.
Yeah.
The most beautiful. I
Cool
felt
stuff.
like I was in another state altogether. And then once we got into South Dakota, we started seeing these like quaint little small towns, and
Mhm.
some had waterfalls. They had
Totally.
a logging company. Like there was just a lot of cool stuff that I didn't think existed
Mhm.
that far north of the state. But yeah, it was very rocky. No plains. Super,
Yeah.
super almost mountainous. I guess is how I would describe it.
Absolutely
It was
right.
just crazy to me to see that.
I mean, and truly, you don't even have to go far west to see that stuff. You can go directly north of here, of Lincoln. You can go 2 hours straight north, and you'll go to, there's a town called Niobrara, Nebraska.
Yep.
Very bluffy, very like Missouri-like even, to where there's just it's you almost get the feel of mountains. The further west you go, you totally get the feel for mountains. Scottsbluff, Shadron, all of those crazy cool places. It is just amazing the things that are in our state that are so different from the plains.
Have you been in Niobrara?
The Niobrara River?
Have you done the lazy river?
No. I've not done that.
Boo.
I know there's a connotation associated with the Niobrara River that I'm just like, I'm 42 years old. I've got kids. I don't know.
I mean, I was there when I was like in my early 20s.
Yeah.
So,
But
that was like
I
over
hear
10 years ago.
a ton of people go.
Yeah.
And
They do.
and love it. And in fact, so much that my in-laws have even mentioned, "Hey, let's all go to the Niobrara." And I'm like, I don't can I drive the car? Or I don't know. So anyways, I could be completely unfounded. That's just what I've heard. So maybe it would be a ton of fun. I have no idea. I don't know.
It's a thought.
Yeah, absolutely. So anywho, so that's the other thing I wanted to kind of show people or tell people a little bit about are some of the different things that it's been fun as I've known Jon for how about 4 years? Should we say that?
Sure.
5 years? 4 years?
I feel like 5 years is more appropriate.
5? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because so I knew Jon previously as he moved here, bought his house. I remember closing, was there afterwards, and then as you got your license and things like that. So I've known Jon for just a little bit. But it's been fun because as you've been here at the office, well, then Rachel and I have been able to get to know even more things about you. It's always fun to find out about the not hidden talents, but talents that you don't necessarily like come up in normal conversation or talk about all the time. So it's been fun to get to know Jon with a couple of those things. So I'll mention just a couple of them for people that are out there. So, when we had the office up and running and going, there was a couple of things that Rachel and I did but didn't do that Jon really has supplemented. One of them being the plant life that is here at the office or the lack thereof. So Rachel self-proclaimed has a black thumb is what she says. I'm not going to go so far as to say I have a green thumb, but I have a working knowledge. Like I know some things and I know how to do things. It's more of the time factor for me, I feel like. But we had specifically had some succulents that my wife had brought in and were super cool and were super nice. But truthfully, especially when it comes to succulents, I have no idea what to do anything whatsoever. And so Jon's like that from the very beginning. You took notice of it, right? I mean, do you remember when you kind of saw some of that stuff when you came in?
It's kind of like when you're a dog person and you go to the pound and you just want to save them all.
Sure.
I'm the plant man who just wants to save all the plants. I walked in and these things were like on their last leg. I'm like, I will take you home with me.
Yeah.
So I did.
Well, it's all like for me, it's always fun, specifically with plants, when you can hear or you can know that they're not dead. Like they do have life. They might even look dead, but they're not. And they have life and we can bring them back and they look great and stuff like that. So it's been kind of fun because, so what are some of the things that you've brought into the office that you can think of?
There's a lily boat that I brought in. It's at the front,
Okay.
I guess at the back door. Most people use that as the front door though, which is kind of weird.
Stop doing that. Stop it.
Otherwise, we'll tell you to go to the other back door, which is our front door. So.
Right. Yeah, right. That's what the guy said today. Yeah.
And so I brought that in. I took home 2 succulents and a jade plant that needed help.
Okay.
And they're thriving. You also wanted a purple passion plant.
Oh,
is
yeah.
like
those are cool. Yeah.
cool
Yeah.
purple fuzzy plant. It's awesome. It's purple.
Yeah.
It's great. Not to be confused with any of the places in town that sell stuff that's not supposed to be
Purple
passion.
sticky punch.
Yeah. I think that was it. I don't know what the one is that's sitting to the right table in the basement, but that one I don't know. It has yellow flowers. Like when it actually gets going, it sprouts little yellow flowers.
Yeah,
and it's really
totally.
cool. But it's considered a succulent, which I didn't.
Right.
I mean, it looks like
It's
a
a
regular
succulent.
plant. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've brought to back. Nope. You have brought back to life several of our plants, and they look really, really nice around the office. And then Rachel, the black thumb lady, she designed kind of a plant setup out front that looks incredibly nice. So she's done that, and so those look really nice. And then just in general, everything is thriving. I mean, the outside stuff especially is just because a lot of it's because of the rain that we've been getting, which we're really thankful for. But it has. It's nice for me because I kind of consider myself a plant person, but I still vividly remember though when I started kind of finding that out about you, that you grabbed your phone and you showed me all of the different plants that you've got currently residing at your home.
I have like the mini Amazon rainforest at my house.
Yeah. Well, and weren't you telling me too that you were gonna buy, what was it, shelves or
my
something
gosh.
else to expand?
So I think a midlife crisis for millennials at this point is like getting into plants, and that's my
Right.
thing. But I bought an IKEA. It's called a Rudsta shelf cabinet. So you have like 3 shelves or 2 shelves in there, and the bottom one can become a shelf. So technically, it would be 3, and it's like, I don't know, it's like a 5-foot shelf or a stand, about maybe 3.5 feet wide, and you can put whatever you want in there. Fully glass, but the shelves that I wanted were graded on the sides, so they're the corrugated, not corrugated or graded. What is it called? Gosh, the it's like a mesh. It's like a mesh wire.
Okay, yeah.
So but it's like a wall on both sides.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. It's got some form to it. It's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it allows for like airflow, so you can put plants in there, have lights in there. It's like not just confined to like a certain humidity, that kind of thing, or it's like temperature environment. And so I wanted to put some in the bedroom. So on my way to Kansas City for my birthday a couple weeks back, my buddies and I, we went, and I'm like, hey, before I go home, I need to stop at IKEA.
Right.
I even put an order the day before we went down there, and they're like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, these are for my plants. They're like, They rolled their eyes in the back of their skull, like, seriously, dude, plants? So they succumbed to that idea. We got the shelves, and I have yet to put them together because I need to make sure that I have the right lights. They're back ordered right now on Amazon.
Gotcha.
I'm like,
Okay.
all right, cool.
The lights are back ordered?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Because then they will be inside plants, or will you put them outside during the summer?
I will put one in our bedroom, and I will put another one. I haven't decided. I think I want to put another one in the actual living room that we have.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. They're kind of cool to have, especially at night when you're sleeping. You know, you're getting some good air from like these really nice plants that provide all the supple amount of oxygen that you need.
Yeah.
Have a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
Studies have shown.
Studies have shown.
So I'm like, all right.
It'll be interesting if people watch this. Hopefully you do. If and when people are like, oh, no way, I'm a plant person too. I've got XYZ sitting in my house right now.
Holly has a friend who she said, you need to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
I have yet to talk to her. All right. So waiting. But she's like, she's a crazy plant person just like you are. I'm like, oh, wait, I didn't say I'm a crazy person. I'm just a plant person.
Right. Yeah. This is completely sane behavior.
Right. Yeah, but it was a joke. It was fun.
Oh, that'll be fun. So what do you think on the real estate side of things? What has been something that you have seen now as director of real estate operations that you were, I don't know, I mean, maybe surprised by, or that you're just like, oh, I had no idea that even was going on, or whatever?
I think it's a lot of just the behind the scenes stuff of what is happening to make things move along.
Oh,
And I guess not just with transactions, but also with like how training is done, or how people get paid, or how we're setting things up for success for for agents. I mean, it's just, there's so much.
Right.
There is so much. And at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it's just cool to see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because you see it from one side as agents are operating.
Right.
But the internal piece of like all the other mechanics that go to that.
Yeah, for sure.
That to me is exciting.
I mean, it's so in the conversation right now of exclusive buyer agency and what that is meaning and what that's going to mean for people and how they're going to have to use it and stuff like that. So it kind of reminds me of that, because there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. Some people know more about it than others. It's always been happening. It's just that some people know about it, some people don't. It's very, very similar to what we as realtors do with our clients. We do a ton of behind the scenes things, but my best friend will gloat about how he's never had to actually have a realtor find a house for him. P.S. I still represented him in this transaction where he found the house. But like, again, this jackwagon that's doing all these videos is talking about how realtors, all they do for buyer's agents specifically is they open a door and they sign a contract. And that's it. Those are two. And I'm like, man, that is so completely wrong. And we all know that because of the variety of things that we do in the background. And so what's going to happen And what is happening now is that those things are going to come to the forefront. It is going to become much more apparent because buyers are, and rightfully so, are going to wonder, well, yeah, well, so I don't honestly have a problem paying you, but what am I paying you for? Truthfully, some people know, some people don't.
Yeah.
It's the ones that don't that are going to ask that question. And so it's going to be on us to truthfully be very transparent and explain to people, okay, look, so this is what you are going to get for your money, basically. These are the things that I'm going to do. And there are plenty of agents out there that don't even know what that is, right? They can't verbalize it, and or they don't even know because they're just kind of riding the wave of low interest rates, basically. But it'll be very, very similar. Something that we will have to do for exclusive buyer agency agreements is that we will have to go through it with people and talk to them about what are they getting, what are we doing, what is our role besides opening a door and signing a contract, you know? And again, it's not going to be hard for a lot of our agents, most of our agents, because we have such good agents that they provide such top level service. They're going to be able to say, hey, this is what we do. But P.S. tomorrow at Co-op, we're going to talk about that actually. So it's going to be kind of fun. I'm excited. Rachel has got kind of a fun exercise for us to do at Co-op that's going to be a little bit different. So I'm excited about it. I think it'll be kind of different and fun or whatever.
I think it's good to even just be able to see how some agents differ from what they're speaking to on their business, on how they help those clients.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, me personally as an agent, but also somebody that works here, you are not doing the right thing for your client if you don't have a set amount of things that you're doing for them to explain why they're going to pay you.
Right.
Other than just, hey, I'm opening doors for you and you're going to give me a commission for it.
Right.
That's it. I mean, there should be a lot of prep work behind how to, show a property and having details and information and what's the client's best interest, what's their needs, give them the options, all those things have to kind of go into consideration. So I think that's where, jackwagons that are out there speaking to shenanigans need to
right. Oh, I know.
Really relook how they're presenting that. Because that may just be, certain agents, certain niche places. I don't know.
Well, it makes me feel better, like as I see the number of views on people's videos like that are usually in the single digits.
Yeah.
So it makes me very happy that it's not
nobody's watching.
Right. It's nobody's listening to these people, and it's so yeah. Anyways, it's nice that it's doing that. But so yeah, so that'll be something. Again, we're continuing to talk about it, and we're going to talk more and more about it. But again, it's going to be something that Rachel has said it before. I've heard it at the national level. This is truly a new era of real estate. Things are going to change. Things are changing. So in terms of people trying to figure out, well, how can I do the same thing I have been doing or am doing with these new rules? You can't. It's going to be different. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be worse. It's going to be different. And yes, we're going to walk people through it, and it is, but it's going to be different. That's the thing to remember, and to be kind of accepting of, is that it'll be different. Yeah. But I mean, again, it's the piece of telling people truthfully, like, what do you do? People ask that question all the time. Like, what do you actually do? So it's going to be not just those few select people that ask that question. It's going to be us having that conversation with people. And then the really important conversation too about, well, how do you get paid? How am I going to pay you? Well, it might not be you. It might be the seller.
Right.
It might be you and the seller. It might be a concession. It might be, there's a ton of different ways. But again, just taking the time to explain it to people is going to be key.
Absolutely.
Because it's, for as Rachel can speak to this, and I'll have her on and we'll talk all about it sometime, but it's the agents that you hear about that are just pushing paper in front of people, and they're like, hey, this is all required. Sign it. Those are the people that are going to have some issues, because, hey, look, pal, it's time to explain yourself. And so that's what we're going to do is our agents, so we'll explain ourselves. Basically, we'll explain why it is that we're doing the things that we're doing. And again, that's not so much a change. I feel like we've been doing that already through the buyer's binders that we've got, through the seller's binders that we've got. We do a ton of that already. So it'll be, it will be a change for sure. We're going to do things differently, but at the same time, we're not changing who we are and how we practice our business truthfully, it's going to be a different change. It's not going to be a wholesale change, I guess.
I think a lot of agents that are out there that you know they've been practicing real estate for 20 plus years will definitely agree that there's always a not an upswim battle, but I mean somewhat of different standards and laws that have been put in place during the last 20 years that
Right.
have changed to how they adapt to their workload.
Oh,
or even
totally right.
Just
Yeah.
their business at this point.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure. So, okay, I didn't mean to skip over, but I kind of did. So, the other thing that is different about that I learned about John that I did not know in the past, I didn't know it. Let me say, I didn't know it 5 years ago. I feel like I knew it 2 years ago, but now this is just becoming something that I'm finding out about even more. Is that John is very heavy into streaming. And so he has different platforms and different things that he does. It is a whole new world to me. So, side note, I went to my friend's house this weekend, and as we got there and we beat them to their house, as happens often, their kids were watching a YouTube-esque video on the TV. And it was, oh man, it wasn't Mr. Beast. I forget the name of the streamer, but it was two dudes playing Minecraft and kind of bantering back and forth. And that was the video. And so for me, I am very much like, what is this? What are we watching right now? Sort of a thing. But I mean, we've talked a lot about this and talked about the opportunities that there are out there for specifically for YouTube and other things. But so what, okay, those people, why do they do it? How do they, because that's their job. How do they make money on it, John? What is the thing? Tell people about it.
I guess I'll start from the very top. There's different platforms you can use to stream to make money.
Yeah, okay.
There's Facebook, there's YouTube, there's Twitch, and there's Kick. From those platforms.
What was the last one?
Kick. Kick, like kick a ball.
Oh, kick a ball. Okay, my bad. Sorry. Okay.
And they all have different ways of how the community of streamers and people that consume streaming content view them. Kick is a naughty place. Twitch is like, whatever. They're owned by Amazon, by the way.
Twitch is.
Yep.
Okay.
And then YouTube, obviously owned by Google.
Yeah.
They've become a good presence on the streaming community at this point.
Yeah.
And then Facebook, which is just Facebook Live.
Oh, right.
And they're very strict. So YouTube and Facebook are kind of seen as like the go-to places. However, the leniency that other platforms like Twitch and Kick, they still give you money. And so you have to have a certain amount of viewers, a certain amount of view hours and subscribers to go with how much money you're going to make. So for instance, at Twitch, if you don't average a certain amount of people viewing your content over the course of like 4 weeks, you can't become an affiliate or partner.
Okay.
If you're an affiliate, you earn some money, a partner earns more money, and so forth, so on. Same thing with like YouTube. You can become a partner and then an affiliate or like a monetized channel. So with YouTube, it's 1,000 watched hours and no, actually, I'm sorry. It's 4,000
subscribers,
watched
right?
hours
1,000
and 1,000
subscribers.
subscribers.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah.
And so it's kind of tough. I started doing it because it was something to keep me busy during COVID.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because I had just had built a PC. I'd seen some other people do it that were doing it very part-time. They were earning some income. I'm like,
Okay.
well, I can do this. Like there's,
Sure.
I
Right.
love games.
Yeah.
I like talking and I like, so this is going to be great.
Right.
Fast forward to now. I mean, I've been doing it for 4 years. I've done a partnership with Cedar's Kids in Lincoln,
Yep.
where I raise money for them every year, every Christmas.
Right.
And so it's really cool. And I think I've done over like $5,000 at this point with them.
Okay.
So the community that I have has been really giving to like donate money to the cause.
Right.
But I think now looking at my why, it's not to make money. It's just to have the community the people that I have.
Yeah.
I have a Discord, which is separate from all those platforms. It's kind of like, like if you remember AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah.
For those people that know AOL.
Yeah.
It's a chat room where you can you can either connect via voice or just typing like an actual chat room.
I got you.
And it's cool. You can post pictures, memes. You can talk about things. I post videos of like different clips and things that you've seen online. But the cool thing is that I've got people that are like 11 and people that are 40.
Yeah.
It's a huge range of people.
Oh,
But they
gotcha.
all
Okay.
like they get into like talking about, The Legend of Zelda, or they get into talking about Minecraft, or they get into
Sure.
talking about Halo, or
Yeah.
whatever games, or even sometimes they've talked about plants. I'm like, okay,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
amused.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a meme channel, there's a pet channel that I have.
Huh.
So there's a lot of stuff that's broken down in there. There's a food channel. So people just posting food of like what they like, or what they've eaten, or what they're gonna eat. I mean, so there's a lot
Right.
of cookies in that channel.
Okay.
For whatever reason. People just
Right.
love cookies there. But no, it's
Sure.
it's great, and I think I've learned a lot about the people that I've been, I guess, a part of that community with.
Yeah.
I mean, I've helped people like with homework. I've helped people with relationships. It's weird, like
Yeah.
almost like I'm a psychiatrist, right? Like
Sure.
they're coming in on the couch, and I get to talk to them. But
Right.
it's just cool. It is really cool to be able to do that part time.
Well, realtors can relate to that. I mean, because we, for more often than not, we end up being just someone there to listen.
Yeah.
Someone up to offer some advice and some opinions. Sometimes professional, sometimes just personal.
Yep.
Because that's what some of our clients need. And so yeah, absolutely. We can relate to that sort of a sentiment. What do you know, or what do you think? Which platform pays the most?
The opportunity with Twitch is quick.
Okay.
You can get paid faster. The most, I mean, maybe YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's only because they don't have restrictions on streaming in different places. Like with Twitch, like you can only stream with them for a certain amount of time before you reach a certain tier, and then you can stream somewhere else, like multi-streaming.
Oh, okay.
So they want the content to stay strictly with them. Otherwise, if you don't,
Mm.
you can get, I guess, penalized for it.
Oh, I see.
And so
okay.
YouTube, you have different ways of getting paid. You get paid by YouTube themselves, by how many viewers you get.
Right.
You get paid by AdSense, which is
Sure.
the amount of ads that you put into your video.
Gotcha.
And then by donations or super chats.
Mm, okay.
And so if somebody just says, I want to give this guy $100, they
right.
click super chat, they pay with their PayPal or credit card,
Interesting.
and it sends it to you into the account. YouTube then it processes that. They have a fee. You get whatever is left
Right.
after the fee. And it's not a lot. I mean, the fee I think is like 2 or 3% depending on like your tier of where you're at.
Oh, okay. Well, so as I was at my friend's house just for fun, we started looking up some different streamers and how many like subscribers and stuff like that. Like the big ones, Mr. Beast has 200 million subscribers. And so again, it's like you think about, you start getting paid, it's probably not a ton of money, but you start getting paid at 1,000 subscribers. Think about how much a person makes when they get up to 200 million subscribers.
I know
crazy.
of a person, not personally, but that I've seen on YouTube that started a channel, and the gal is older, elderly, and retired, but said, I just really like books and talking about like my previous job that I had.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I talked about a day that I got fired, and people just started loving to watch that video, like the series that I had.
Sure.
She got monetized. Her first payment from YouTube was less than 60 days, and she was paid $2,000.
Wow.
I'm like, whoa. So it's crazy that yes, you can get and she said now that her paychecks consistently monthly are like
Right.
because of the cycle, there are anywhere from like
Right.
$900 to $1,200.
Right.
I think that's pretty cool, and that she only has just a little over 2,000 subscribers on her
Sure.
channel. So it's wild that like when you have 1 million, and not only are you getting the AdSense like Mr. Beast does, or
Right.
even 200 million. They get a lot of money. Not just that, but then sponsorships.
Right. Oh, a ton of things. Oh,
I
yeah.
think that he was working with a credit card company at one point for something that, like, if people signed up using his code, like he would
Oh
get
my
a
God.
portion.
Oh, wow.
A lot of it gets pretty deep.
So it is. It's interesting. I mean, again, like I always try to bring things back to real estate and how we can utilize them and leverage them to our benefit and to our clients' benefit and stuff like that. In looking, I was just doing my own little research, and looking at the real estate companies that are here locally, even the biggest ones, Home Real Estate, Nebraska Realty, that's one of the bigger ones in the whole state. Nebraska Realty, it's hilarious. They have less than, at this point in time at least, less than 100 subscribers. And they have, I don't even know how many agents they have. In Lincoln, they have a couple hundred agents. So it's just like you would think at least the agents would go and hit subscribe.
Right.
Sort of a thing. But so anyway, so there's a real opportunity there though for people that can produce real content, specifically in our area. Because there's national real estate gurus and people that talk about flipping and investing and all of these different things. But truly, there's a void here locally for people to talk about real estate. And so it's interesting to consider that and see what we might do as a company, but then also what agents can do individually. Because, you have to think smarter and harder than just, okay, well, as soon as I get a new listing, I'm going to put it out on my YouTube channel. You can do that. It's probably not going to get you a ton of subscribers that way, but you can do that. But it's an opportunity, I feel like, to do something that's outside of the box a little bit. Yes. In addition, or to supplement the different things that people are already doing. And
I think especially in our state, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of a cool thing. I've leaned on Jon a lot just to kind of pick his brain about it and talk to him about it. And I know people can do the same. So, it's been some fun finding out about some of these different things. Again, not just with streaming and plants, obviously, but some different new things that you always learn from people as you interact more on a consistent basis. So anyway, so it has been. It's been fun to learn Jon. Jon is here at the office every day, Monday through Friday, and he's here. What times are you here, Jon?
Monday through Thursday, 10 to 2.
Okay.
And then Fridays, 9 to 1.
9 to 1. Okay, cool. So, Jon, please utilize him. He's obviously available via email and phone. You guys know where to find Jon. So, but that's kind of the hours when he's going to be available for you to help and do different things here at the office.
Absolutely.
So that's exciting. We're excited to have Jon, and it will be fun. It will honestly could be kind of fun to see if anybody watches and they see that you are interested in these couple of different things, and then they come in, they say, "Hey, what about this?"
Right,
and they
right.
talk to about it, So please do. All right, keep watching. I'm going to be doing these on a consistent basis. We're going to be doing some other videos with Jon's help also, where we'll talk about different things to do here at the office, different policies and procedures for the company, things to remember, informational and instructional videos as well. But for now, this is Conversations with Broker Brad, and we'll see everybody next time.
Yeah.
We're the 1867 collective. We're here to dominate.